Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, and welcome to the Wild at Heart Show, Real Authentic Uncut. This is the show for man, by man, about man, here on USA Global TV and Radio. When you're listening the first time or watching the first time, you're more than welcome to this man show. So for those of you the first time, I'm not expecting you. As I said, it's a show for man, man's topics discussed by man. And meaning by man, I'm not alone. I do it with other men together, which I will introduce shortly. My name is Roland. I dedicate my life to, besides my main business and consulting, coaching huge companies, and my environmental engagement, my health engagement. I also engage with Mansbrook. Maybe you say, well, a lot of stuff. Yeah. For me, the day has 24 hours and the week has 7 days. So there's many hours where I can do something and I'm not wasting time. So I'm really interested in different topics and I go deeper and deeper. So that's my passion. That's my passion, and Mansbrook is one of my passions. That's why we started almost a year ago here on USA Global TV and Radio with the show. And the topic of the show is, what if relationships were 50-50? By the way, gentlemen, or also ladies, when you watch and listening, if you missed one of the shows, please go to our website, bonfiretalks.com. There you will find all the other recordings when you miss the show or when you want to share topics and, hey, that's interesting, or when you repeat it on bonfiretalks.com. But let's get started. And as I said, I'm not alone. This show is very unique. As I said, it's real. It's absolutely authentic. There's no script. It's absolutely uncut. It's live. The only thing is we do is somebody suggests a topic and then just we go for it. And yeah. Let's get started. And let's get started with the gentleman who suggested this topic, my dear friend from Germany, and welcome on the show, Christian.
Yeah, hi, Roland. How's it going?
Good. Hey, good, man. Good to see you again, man. Are you in Germany?
Pardon?
Are you in Germany right now or traveling?
Yeah, I'm in Germany. I've been to Austria right now. I've been to Aachenkirch, you know, Tyrol.
Yeah, in Tyrol, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I've been there. Spent some 4 nights in a wonderful wellness hotel. Some chilling, some sauna, some massage. So I'm doing quite good.
Oh, I get jealous, man. Yeah, I'm Austrian from origin. I know that Austria has amazing spa hotels. Absolutely.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So let's get the other boys out.
Yeah, let's bring the other ones, and then we start with the topic you suggested. Yeah, from the U.S., from Texas. Howdy, Red. Welcome, Red.
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy, Red. How you doing?
Exceptionally well, as always.
Good to have you on the show back, Red.
And when I lived in Stuttgart, I loved going to the spas all the time, 3, 4, 5 times a week. It's just really a great place to be.
We all get jealous, Christian. We all get jealous. I love too. I love spa. I love sauna. I love hammam, this Turkish steam baths. I love it. And massages, absolutely. Okay, we have one more man. I'm very happy that he's back. You know, he was fighting some challenges, but he's a fighter. Let's welcome from the UK, Big Scott is in the house again.
Yo.
Hey, Big
Scott. Back again. Scotty's back. Tell your friends.
Great to have you back, Scott. Great, we missed you.
Yeah, it's nice to be back. It's nice to be back. It's nice to be back in the real world for a while.
Absolutely. Okay. Hey, cool, man. So we have a topic. What if relationships were 50-50? Christian, you came up with this topic. What do you mean by this? And then let's get started.
Well, I think it's quite obvious. in my experience, there's some women out there. They pretend they want relationships to be 50-50. But when it comes to a point, 50-50 is like only how they define it. And that's not a real 50-50. So 50-50 for me means you pay 50%, I pay 50%. That's 50-50 if they both got a job, of course. So that's 50-50. Most of the women, they say, okay, I want a man 50-50, but he has to earn more than I do. He has to, I don't know, have a bigger car, stuff like that. And of course, he has to pay the flat, the place we live, stuff like that. So, and that's not 50-50, not in my opinion. So that's why I came up with this topic.
So you mean a strict 50-50? It doesn't matter married or not, 50-50?
What has marriage to do with
what each one is making more money or less money, each one pays 50-50 in? Do you mean this?
Well, you can negotiate it. If you want to go on percentage of income, okay, then you put it in the right balance of I don't know if one.
Well, if it's 50-50, then there wouldn't be separate bank accounts, would they? All the money would be in one pot, and then you share from that one pot. It doesn't matter who's earning what or whatever. That's true 50-50. It's not like you're putting in 60, I'm putting in 40. But I don't think there'll ever be such a thing as a 50-50 relationship. As much as we all say we want it and we all like it, I've been chatting to a few people about this topic, and they're like, well, if I was married, I'd expect a man to do this, or I'd expect a man to do that. But women have fought for equality, but will we ever have equality, whether it's a male, female, male relationship? There'll always be certain things that a man can do a lot easier than a woman can, and she'll just say, look,
which one?
Do that.
Which one? What?
Which one? What?
What can a man easier do than a woman can?
Strength, physical stuff. Eh?
I don't know. I don't get the point.
You don't get the point. I'll just say male and female will never ever be 50-50 because we're built anatomically completely different.
If it comes to giving birth, you're right. But I've seen I don't see any body advantages as a man. I've seen women lifting 150 kilograms like that. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I didn't see an advantage in that.
But we're talking a typical relationship. We're not talking muscle relationship, are we? So,
what is a typical relationship? I don't know what a typical relationship is.
Well, this is a typical relationship is trying to be a 50-50 relationship, isn't it? So where do we go? If two fit people get together, then it's not going to make no difference. They can equally do it. They'll probably bench press each other. You know what I mean? But I'm a 6'8" man. It's very rare that I'm going to meet or marry a woman that's 6'8" and can do exactly the same thing as me. Do you know what I mean? So there's different things: height, weight, build. It will never be 50-50. As much as we want it to be, I think it's physically impossible.
Well, to be honest, I don't want a girlfriend who is pressing 150 pounds.
No. No.
I mean, it scares me, but I doesn't want to look over body. But anyway, I love this discussion because maybe I'm a little bit old school. I become 60 next year, but I was married twice, 15 years each, and I never questioned 50-50. I was always paying more. Actually, I was always paying all the stuff most of the time. I never questioned it. Did I something wrong, Christian?
I don't know. It's if you're fine with it, But I say...
I never thought about it.
For me, it's also a question of self-worth. So what is the reason for me to pay most of the time? What is the reason? So if I do it with an open heart and I like it, okay, fine. But if it is something that is expected after a time, then I go no,
well,
you
I
pay
think
another man.
In a true relationship, I don't think it would be expected because you then tend to do things each other. I mean, you might pay one bill and then the partner pays the next bill. But when you're new in a relationship, these days, I've just been out with lunch with my daughter and her friend and her mother, and we were like, look, she was like, oh, well, I'll pay for the kids. It's my treat. I went, no, we'll go 50-50. There was no argument. Do you know what I mean? Whereas before, I'd be like, no, I'll get it. If a woman wants to pay half, then fine. If she doesn't, I'm easy with that. I think a 50-50 relationship is what we all dream of, but will it ever be possible? And
For
I
me,
think
it's a
that's
question.
choice. And the only way it is going to be possible if you sit down,
me,
like
it's
you're
a question
saying,
of
it's a
negotiation.
contract. Yeah, exactly. It's a contract. So we sit down, you're going to pay that, you're going to pay that, I'm going to pay this, you're going to do that. Well, if you're paying all the house bills, I'll pay for all the meals. Do you know what I mean? So it's a trade-off. You know what I mean?
It's all about communication, as always.
Well, the way you're saying it is more like you want a contract, right? What are you going to do? What am I going to do? A relationship, once I get into that level of relationship, is not a case of you do this, I do that. It's we're together, you know, and that is not a case of I've got more money, you've got more money, I'm going to pay for all the bills. And if you don't like it, tough. That's not what a 50-50 relationship's about. It's give and take. I think swings and roundabouts.
Well, there are some things I don't want to do together. So what?
Yeah, Christian.
Well, there are certain things, you know, that's what the women do on their own, and that's good. They need female vibrations, female frequencies around.
But why can't you join in that? Do you know what I mean?
What?
Why can't you join in the female frequencies and her
Because I
join in
don't
the
want
male
to.
frequencies?
It's not I can't, I don't want.
Okay.
It's a difference.
It's interesting. You know, when I think back at my previous relationships, I always was paying everything, and I was just thinking about why the hell. But to be honest, if it would be 50-50, then because all the ladies have been together, they had much less money than me, then my lifestyle would go down. So if to keep my lifestyle, of course I paid in more, because otherwise my lifestyle would go down.
Well, maybe I would search for a woman which is in my lifestyle. So like within my range.
Yeah, Christian, that's a good idea, but you know, I found out that I have a pattern, a certain pattern. Always.
So can I ask you a question, Christian? Are you
Sure.
married or have you been married?
Yes, I've been twice.
Twice. Did you have
Sorry, no, 1.5.
1.5? Oh, yeah. So did you do a prenup? So if we split up, this is what's going to happen, or not? Or is it just like you just let it be?
But I don't get the question. Can you maybe?
So you're in a relationship. We were talking about relationship. You were saying, look, it would be an agreement that you pay this, I pay that. I'm just saying, when you got married, did you have a contract that if we divorce, this is what's going to happen, or did it just?
Yeah, we had that, and one of the reasons was my wife had a business. So to save her business, she did this contract, and I was fine with that because that saved my business as well.
Okay. It's just, see, I've never had a relationship that's based on a contract or prenups or whatever. I just go with the flow, you know.
Yeah,
and relationships work. They either work or they don't. Do you know what I mean? And it's 50-50, which is what we're talking about. I think it's a choice. It's either a contract or it's free flowing.
It's a choice. Yeah. It's a choice. I like the idea to set things up before I really go into something, because then there's not so much bad surprises. Well, there still are, as we are human beings. So, but if
because if you haven't got that prenup sorted, you could still get screwed over. Do you know what I mean? So
sure you can.
We can't predict the future. Shit happens. I'm sorry, but shit, as far as I'm concerned, shit happens. When you jump in a relationship, when you fall in love with somebody, there's a difference between having a relationship and when you fall in love with somebody and you want to be with somebody. Then
I don't fall in love. This term, to fall in love, this is something I don't do. This is, in my opinion, it is something of conscious. And to fall in love is something I don't do. I choose.
Fall in love sounds like I get lost. I get lost. I love the speed of the emotional discussion, and I was thinking about, oh my gosh, what did I in the past? I never had a contract. I never left a relationship without any money because I paid and spent everything.
Well, you can take the other side around. Yeah, you know, if a man has kind of business stuff like that, and the woman has a business, and she runs her business well, and they don't do a contract. So now the man fucks up his business, and he pulls down the business of the woman as well. So that's not fair. Even if they're in a relationship, that's not fair. I don't want to ruin the business of my wife. Never. Why should I? I love her.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fine. The legal aspect of that is totally understandable. It's more the love of what you say. You don't understand love, but to me, love is finding somebody that's happy and complete in herself and complements my life. Do you know what I mean? We all have relationships and we get infatuated, and, you know, there's the wooing stage, but I'm old and stupid. And, you know, it takes a special person to make me go, oh my God, my life is, I'm happy with my life as it is, and I've got a routine and everything. If you can make it better than it is now, then yes, let's have fun. Do you know what I mean? So, and then see where it goes. But once you're in a committed relationship with somebody, I don't think it's a case of you pool everything. Not you've got more money, I'm earning more money, prenups and everything out the way. It's a case of we share it. 1 week she might have a bit more cash than you, and vice versa. It's ebbs and flows. Do you know what I mean? You take the rough and you take the smooth together, and that's 50-50.
Yeah. But, for me, relationship is love, and for me, love is serving, and I have no problem on serving more.
It's serving, but also receiving as well.
It can't be serving when it's 50-50?
Eh?
Is that what I hear? Is it can't be serving and love if it's 50-50? Is that what I hear?
No, that's what you're taking from it. No.
It's not that it can't be, but when you love somebody, you serve without any expectations of giving back.
You just give unconditionally,
Yeah, what has that to do with 50-50? I don't get the point.
That's what we're saying. That's what I'm saying. It's physically impossible to have a 50-50 because it ebbs and flows. That's why at the beginning of when I started, I said, I don't think it is physically possible to have a 50-50 relationship.
Maybe that's a barrier in your head.
Not at all.
I was asking, maybe.
Well, so I agree with Big Scott because what is going on when you're in your 20s, 40s, 60s. I mean, this just a couple of months, we'll be 55 years together. That's probably unheard of.
Now, see, my hat goes off to somebody like you, because that's what love is about. Being together all them years through thick and thin, and I bet you're still in love with each other as you were.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's rare that
my hat off. Yeah.
It's rare we ever go anywhere by ourselves. It's just, if I'm going to the store, she's going to the store. If I just need her up, it's just one of those things that we do. It's not that it's expected. It's just we do. And so I hear what you're saying. I understand the concept, but I tend to agree more with Big Scott than I do with Christian, because, what you're bringing to the table, and again, with Roland, is you're serving. Yeah. You're doing whatever you can for that other person because you want to provide for them. You want to make sure they've got everything. It's part of your psyche. It's part of
not a demand. It's not a condition.
It's not a condition.
Yeah. And I also got a Christian point. I mean, when you're together with somebody and the girlfriend or whatever is always expecting that you pay because you're the man. That's not right too. And when I think back about my relationship, my previous one, she had not much money, so I was always paying. I didn't expect it, and I know that she couldn't afford a luxury dinner. No, doesn't matter at all. No problem on that. But sometimes it would be lovely if she says, okay, I invite you for coffee. Why not? This would be a fair trade. It's not equal in the amount of money, but it's equal
it's the gesture,
in the amount
of
the capability. Okay.
Yeah. I can't afford the swanky meal, but let's go for a nice cup of tea and a cake.
Yeah. Because
how about I got another point, if I may.
Yeah.
How about emotional availability? Because that ain't 50-50 a lot of times as well.
What do you mean by that? As in availability?
Being emotionally available, like being there for the women, like being there if she needs it, like being there if she needs to be understood, stuff like that. Is that something that is 50-50? Always?
Well, communication is a fundamental thing, isn't it, in a relationship? So, yes, she should be able to know that you can lean on her when she needs advice and whatever. And I'd hope that she would be there to do exactly the same for me.
Well, I think that's I heard an expectation.
Hang on, say again.
I heard an expectation. She should be. No, she should be if she wants to.
Who said she should be?
You. You said she should be if you need her and stuff like that. No, she shouldn't. If she wants to be there when I need her, okay. If she don't want to be there when I need her, okay, then she won't be there. That's what I call love.
Well, no, I've misinterpreted what you were saying. It's like she can't lean on your shoulder when she wants to be emotional. Yes, you can, anytime. And I'm not saying somebody should be, but if they want to be, you can be receptive.
No.
I wouldn't be cold at all.
Not every time. When I'm not 100% in my resources, I can't be there for her.
Yeah,
and if I would
then
be
you
there
just
for
say
her,
to her, not at the moment, lovely. Yeah.
If I would be there for her when I'm not in my 100%, I would use her. And this is not what I'm going to do to a woman I love.
How is it using it? I don't understand.
I learned this in my last relationship because I said, "Oh, I needed her because I was in pain, in mental pain," and she didn't give me what I needed because she didn't want, because she was not in resources. And I said, "What the fuck? I would do it even if I would go over my borders."
No,
I would do
because
it. I
certain
would
things
do
you're
it.
looking for in her, you need to be dealing with yourself.
Yeah, but when you serve, you serve.
Well, sometimes you can. I mean, my wife went through cancer and radiation, chemo, and all the rest of that stuff not that long ago. And, for a big part of a year, you are totally taking care of somebody else because they can't. And, there's no reciprocity there.
But you
It's
do
just
that unconditionally.
It's unconditional because it's expected. It's what you need. It's somebody you love. It's somebody there that needs your attention 24/7. One bad thing I learned about it was that I took a couple days. Okay, it's been inside all the time. The sun's shining outside. My pool's in terrible shape. So I go out there and I start cleaning things up. And all of a sudden I start getting this little itch on my neck. And turns out within a couple of days, I'd spent more than a couple hours in the sun. I'm stressed. I wasn't eating right. Wasn't exercising. And I came down with whatever that disease is, shingles. And ironically, I called the doctor and I was able to get in literally within about a day. And, first thing he said was, it looks like a typical case of shingles to me, without even saying anything to him. And so he gave me some pills. In about 4 or 5 days, it was gone. I've never had a rebound. But when I start thinking back, okay, I was taking care of somebody, but I wasn't taking care of myself.
Yeah, you were exhausted.
And that's a big thing when you're doing something for somebody else. You can't just put 100% in because you still need attention yourself. And if you're not going to give yourself the attention you need, then things they're going to go the wrong direction.
Once you're an empty vessel, you've got fuck all to give. So you need to go and recharge. If you're a
you
battery,
need that recharge, and okay, maybe she's taking a 3-hour nap. Okay, fine, I'll go whatever I need to do, but I'm available.
Yeah. And
so it's just, I mean, there's just going to be some times when you can't be there 100% for somebody, but they need you.
Yeah, I've just been through it for the last month, and my daughter, it was a MOX and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So her granddad isn't very well, and I'm the only father figure that she knows, and she dotes on me, and being in hospital for 4 weeks and not being able to be a dad. But they came in, and we made best of the time what was available. I didn't sit there moping going, oh, I miss my kids, I miss my daughter. Let's FaceTime, whatever, use today's technology. I was in my bed playing music or whatever, just to keep myself motivated. And I motivated the people around me in the wards that were all, oh, woe is me, But I took those 4 weeks because literally I'd burnt out. I had so many different things wrong with my body. It was Mother Nature saying, take a fucking break. You're exhausted. And I'm back. I'm fighting with fire. And I'm loving this fucking conversation. Excuse my French, but I have a zest for life that is beyond anything. I've got a battle coming on the horizon, but I'll deal with that when it comes, So for now, just enjoy every moment. And as I say, you have to give and you have to take, but will it ever be 50-50?
That's the question.
I mean, gentlemen, in the older days, we had this sharing, this 50-50 by these role models. The man is providing the home, the food is working, he brings the stuff, he's hunting the money, chasing the money, and she's taking care about preparing a cozy home and taking care about the kids. We know that it's not working anymore. But in general asking, I mean, in a healthy relationship, when people are staying together for a long time, or because they really want it, it's not they're forced to it. There's no dependency. So in a healthy relationship, isn't it balanced anyway? I mean, without putting in on a scale every single stuff, is it balanced?
Yeah, it is. I think it is. Sometimes it might be 70-30, it might be 60-40, might be 50-50, but it's always one or the other. It will never, ever be, I think, bang, you do 50% of this, you do 50% of that. When my mum and dad, before my mum passed, she didn't like working. So she said to my dad, you go out and earn the money. I will look after the house. I will pay all the bills and I will do everything. And they were happy like that. Do you know what I mean? But that was their decision. Whatever makes you happy, then it is 50-50. Your partner is the other half of you, so it will always be 50-50.
Well, part of the
won't be, the chores won't be divided.
Part of happiness is whatever expectation you have. If it's met, you're happy. If it's not met, you're not. So if you have an expectation that somebody's going to wash the dishes, take the trash out, vacuum the floor, take care, and that's what they do, and they're happy doing it, and your expectations met, their expectations met, because both people understand their expectations, then I think you generally have happiness in that particular relationship. There are going to be ups and downs. There's going to be distractions. There's going to be other things that come in. Just things happen.
It's like the word I don't agree is like expectation. I don't expect anybody to do anything for me. If they choose to, then fine. Yeah. But I wouldn't expect my partner to do that or not do that. You know what I mean? So I'm just being a little bit pedantic there, but that word, okay. I don't expect anything.
Well, I'm looking at it from a subconscious mind perspective, which is the word, if I said I want, I need, those are conscious mind. The subconscious mind controls literally everything you do, but it has no concept of needs and wants, but it understands very well expectations. It understands intentions, but it doesn't understand wants and needs. So when you say, I want something, I need something, that's a disconnect. It's just like saying, I don't, there's certain deals, but the word expect from a subconscious perspective is a very powerful word. Now that expectation may not be explicit. I expect to have sunshine today. Well, I'm always happy when it's sunshiny, even if it's 105 degrees here in Houston, because I love hot, flat, and humid. That's my kind of weather. But it's not necessarily an expectation that my wife takes the trash out.
No. Because if you expect it and they don't do it, then you're disappointed. Do you know what I mean? Well, so if you don't expect it, you might not consciously say, "Oh, you haven't taken the bins out," but you were thinking, "Oh, I was expecting her to do that," and she hasn't.
But and again,
negative energy. Yeah.
But I take a look. Okay, well, she was at this meeting all day. She had this one to do. Okay, fine. It needs to go out because the trash goes out tonight. I'll take it out. And it's one of those things. Okay, it's Friday. We're going to do the sheets today or not? And okay, whatever it is, things. What she may have done for the last 3 weeks, I'm doing today, not because it's my expectation that I do it, because I want to do it, because it's one of those things I think I should do today. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that works exceptionally well for me.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I say. You've been together, what did you say,
55 years in July.
Yeah, we dated July the what date?
3rd.
Oh, because my mum and dad got on the 13th. I was going to say, no way it's going to be. But
no, we got married on a Wednesday night.
What was the weather like? What was the weather like?
It was actually pretty nice. It was in South Texas, and it was a nice warm day, probably in the mid 90s, upper 90s, no rain.
So see, I respect that. You can remember back 54 years to the moment you met her. Do you know what I mean?
And we dated for about 3 years before we got married.
You definitely tested the water. Yeah.
And so we kind of knew what was going on. It's one of those things that evolved, and at that point in time, it wasn't the custom to live together. So we had our separate places. We lived in different places, and that that was part of what my culture was back then.
Gentlemen, I have a question. Just imagine that we would invite a girl, a lady, to join live the show. What would she say about this 50-50?
You're quite interesting. I can't put words in her mouth. I'd be quite interested to see what other
Let's call Dr. Jackie in.
Yeah.
maybe the CEO and founder and producer of the show, she can write something in the comment and say, okay, what is she thinking about from a female point of view about this 50-50 relationship?
Well, if there's any women listening, message us and let us know what you think.
When you're listening, maybe on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah. Even if you're listening back, it'd be nice to see what you're saying. So
yeah. We are open to learn. It's all about learning.
I think Dr. Jacqueline expressed an opinion early on when we first started up about 50-50 and something about LOL afterwards. So I'm not sure.
No, I think, if you wake up and take a breath on a morning, then make the most of that day. Do you know what I mean? So
I think you have valid points on both sides. Yeah, absolutely. It's always balanced. Well, guys, I was thinking about if I would have a girlfriend or maybe wife number 3. I don't know if I do it. I don't know.
I only did it once, to mess up once is human, to err twice is stupidity.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. You never know. But anyway, and she would make good money. And I was thinking about, okay, if she makes good money and runs her own business or is successful in corporate, I guess for the future, I would say, yeah, make one account together. Everyone pays in on the first, and when the salary comes in, money, bam, and then we share it. And when we get divorced and when we decide to go different directions, everyone has left some money at the end.
Well, like what Christian was doing, you know what I mean? The business side of things, you know what I mean? They would be your totally secure thing, unless down the line you just decided, right, we're going into partnership and it's no longer your business and my business, it's our businesses. But in the initial stage, yeah, the business things, as long as that's covered, then, but I think the longer you go in, then all of that all becomes one. And that's the risk you take. That's what being together for 54 years is put all your eggs in one basket. You know, we're in this all the way together. Not like, well, you can have that little bit and I'll keep that little bit secret. Do you know what I mean? It's like all or nothing, really.
I think this is a very unhealthy thing to do. Like if people have a relationship, so there's this one person, here this other person, everyone has his world, and then they come together and they come together and they have this
the infinity side.
Somewhere.
Yeah,
so
that's a perfect relationship. They're happy separate. You're happy separate.
A few people, can I please? So a few people, they tend to go like this. So they have parts where they do things together, like the thing in the middle. Yeah, this is the one thing. And a lot of people, they go like this. And this is like melting together. This is like, oh yeah, we put our money together. We do everything together, stuff like that. And this is unhealthy because that is mixing up energies that don't belong together.
No, I totally disagree. There's one thing you missed out there.
It's okay if you disagree, but you can let me talk till I'm finished. That would be very nice and kind of you. Thanks.
Yeah,
so if you go like this and you match up like that, and you mix energies, then you have an unhealthy relationship, and then you start to build up unhealthy but you get stuff like cancer, stuff like that. You go ill because your energies mix up and turn bad. So if you care about your own energy, stay in your female, stay in your male energy, and come together time to time and share it. That's fine, as long as you are 100% in your resources each. If you start doing things for the other one, then you start having relationships where you be together for 20 years. The one has cancer, the other one has another disease, stuff like that. For me, the quality of a relationship shows up if you're 20 years together and both are healthy, both are smiling, both are 100% in their energy. That's how I want my relationships. And still they're bound together and still they're in love because they let each other in their energy and they come and meet. That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm. And totally what you were saying there right at the very beginning and what you've just ended with and what I was trying to say is, if you're happy and healthy completely by yourself and you don't need to rely on anybody and expect anything from anybody, and you get a partner that's exactly the same, that are happy in themselves, when you come together, you create the infinity sign. You're not taking energy from her or him or whatever. You are still your whole, but when you come together, you create the infinity sign. What you're talking about is a codependency relationship, which is not this. It's like this. So this person doesn't feel complete without this person, and this person doesn't feel complete without that person. So you've got this gap. So when they leave, they feel useless, and then you've got the ones that, as you say, embroil themselves completely. And that's not unhealthy because they don't know who they are. It's a mishmash. Two happy, healthy people coming together, loving being together and loving being apart is the perfect relationship, in my opinion.
Well, I'm not a specialist. I messed it up 2 times, the marriage, but but I go with Christian. The melting point is not for me, too. No, because
the melting point is not healthy for anybody.
Yeah.
No.
Because
the thing is you need to be happy. Like Red was saying, he gave so much to his partner that he just got lost in her, and then he became ill because he was completely depleted. And he realized, hang on, in order for me to help my wife completely, I have to be happy and healthy to my maximum.
And that is such a strong decision.
That
is such a strong decision, Red.
Mm-hmm.
I really, whoa.
But that's what 54 years is. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They know who they were. Yeah,
but sometimes you get so emotionally tied into a situation that you don't think straight. You're constantly taking care of things, and I'll give you a real quick example. I had 11 units military units that reported to me when I was in California, and I was responsible for their deployments overseas, anywhere they were going. And to take care of that on a daily basis, everything was just constantly coming and going out. However, I had my policy was every Thursday. I don't care what was going on. I blocked out Thursday. That was for my long range planning. Okay, if I want to send this unit to Bahrain, that unit to Korea, I concentrated nothing but 6 months, 8 months, 10, a year and a half out. And we don't look at that same thing when we are intimately involved in our family, in our, whether it's a child that's having a problem, our wife, ourselves even. We don't look at that long. We are constantly in the now. And it's not until you back off and say, okay, something went wrong. What lesson can I learn from this? What did I do wrong? What can I do better? And that's at that point in time, you say, okay, fine. I need to spend some time taking care of me, because I've seen it happen with too many other people. They're taking care of their spouse or their child or whatever, and they are just totally immersed in, and they don't even think about taking care of themselves. Their diet goes to hell. Everything that what they used to be doing is just no longer at that optimum, not even a suboptimal. They're just so focused on one area, everything else just goes away. And it's a matter of being able to take and say, okay, if I'm going to give 100%, I need a little bit more of myself in order to be able to give that 100%. That's just my own opinion.
Absolutely. It always starts with self-love. You cannot love before yourself. You love yourself, taking care of yourself. Absolutely. That's why in the airplane, they always explain the airplane, take your mask first and then help the others. Yeah, it's really true. But I know, right? Sometimes we forget it. And I don't know if it's a pattern of myself, maybe because I didn't get the love when I was a child. When I went to a relationship, I was always full in, because I thought, okay, the more I give in, the more I receive, I get back. And I always messed it up, because the more I gave, the more unhappy was the other person, because the other person had no chance to balance it out, because I was giving.
They
and
were being pressured. Yeah, they were under pressure, thinking, I can't handle this.
Absolutely. And actually, I got a feedback from our previous conference in the app. Roland, you try to make women depend on you. I said, no, that's not my pattern. That's not what I do consciously, but it happens, of course, because I do everything, I pay everything, and then they're not independent anymore. They rely on me, and then they're pissed off too. Doesn't make sense.
I think if you go like it happens unconsciously, this is the point where you can learn. Like, this is where you can put your conscience on. This is like where you could grow, and this is what we should do. This is something I call 50-50. Like, both should come together in the decision. I want to work on myself and do it with myself. And if I need help, I come and ask. And if you have the resources to help me, then you can do it. If not, don't.
Yeah. I don't want my partner to be my therapist at all.
Exactly.
No, but a partner shouldn't be a therapist. That you should be able to talk and communicate with each other. But a therapist means you need to be dealing with something on yourself. I've spent I'm only 54 years of age, but I've had a lot of shit happen in my life, and I ran away from my demons. But everywhere I ran, they followed me. I kept having, like you say, I kept having relationships, and if they showed me they loved me, I fell straight in and was like, I love you, I love you, I love you. Because when I was a child, I was getting a backhand and being told that's because I love you. So, I got to a stage where I've read a few books, and it's like, well, how long do I blame my past for who I am? Do you know what I mean? And if you keep attracting the same sort of woman, then you're putting out the wrong bait, right? So you're putting out the same bait. So you need to work out, why am I catching this fish and not the big fish? And that's called working on yourself. And the hardest thing to do, but what you've got to do in this lifetime, is find out who you are, and what you're about.
Nope.
So, hey?
You have to
you got go on.
I think, of course, you have to know who you are and stuff like that. But I think the most important thing is know your patterns.
That's what I'm trying. Christian, that's what I'm trying to find out.
That's
I always want
to. If something keeps happening over and over again, why? What is the pattern? What is the bait? What am I doing wrong?
But that is not helpful if you know why you're.
You've just said that. Find out what the problem is. That's what I've just said. With Roland, he was saying his relationships, he was overpowering them because he was looking for love, and as soon as he got it, it was like, I'm going to give you everything. So why are you doing that? That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying exactly what you're saying, Christian, is find out what is the repetitive pattern and change it. And that's about looking who you are, learning and discovering who you are along the way.
This is how
Nobody's born knowing who they are. Eh?
But the question is, should I learn why I'm doing this, or should I learn how to do it differently? Meaning, how I find a young, rich, good-looking lady.
I think it would be.
That might be physically impossible, you know.
I'm a little fucked up of being interrupted on like every time. Scott.
Sorry, Christian.
No, it's
It's an emotional discussion.
Why have I
Of course it is. It's about the relation.
It's an emotional discussion. It's an emotional discussion. But it's a good one. It's a good one. We have different perspectives. It's not boring. It's really interesting.
I think if you want to go to this 50-50 thing and love thing, I think we have some very interesting patterns of love running in women due to Disney movies, for instance.
Bullshit. So you're telling me every woman watches Disney and thinks you're going to get a prince? No, not in my experience. But carry on, sorry.
I said some. I said not all.
Yeah, but Christian, I also believed this shit when I was younger.
That's my experience. I've met a few women. They had this prince stuff going on. And that's why I said some of them have these. Not all.
So the ones you've met. Yeah.
That's why I said some.
Yeah. And I was just saying not all.
Well,
I absolutely agree with that.
Right then.
I think we got 40 minutes into the show and we still haven't resolved 50-50.
But I don't think we ever will.
I don't think we ever will either, because everybody has a different perspective of that. And I think what we've done is we've clarified a lot of those little aspects of what really means, and what it means to Christian doesn't mean the same thing to me toward Big Scott. And that's part of who we are and part of why we're on the show, in order to give those perspectives of what men think.
But it all works into each other.
And so it's a great show from that perspective. Yeah. Thank you, Roland.
The 50-50.
Absolutely.
It was a good one.
No, it still has a
because
finish.
there is no perfect solution. That's life. Life is not about perfectness. Perfectness is dead. Yeah. But life is variety. Life is challenging. It's up and downs, like you said.
Well, we all have a path. We've all come up on a separate path, and none of us have been on exactly the same. But I think there are fundamental things on whatever journey you take. There are fundamental lessons that we're going to learn, and you take from that what you want from it and what you don't want from it. But I think fundamentally, this existence is to learn and find out who you are. Oh, I've done this. It worked. It didn't work. I've done it again. Why didn't it work? Hang on. What am I doing that's wrong? It's working on yourself, trying everything. And if it works, fine. If it doesn't, can you adapt it? Can you adopt it? Can you improve it? If not, move on. That's what I've done in my life. I'm still discovering who the hell I am now. I thought I knew who I was, and I've had a very interesting journey, but I've still got a lot more to come. And I want somebody that's had shit go on in their life, dealt with all their shit in their life, is happy with their life, and that's them. That's 50. I'm exactly the same. I'm 50. When we come together, we're 100%. But when we're apart, we're still 100% happy in our own spaces.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, we have to close. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for this emotional, sometimes controversy, but that's
what life's about.
That's spicy. That's the spicy in the soup. I love that. That's the spice in the soup. Thanks a lot, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, whoever is watching and listening, I hope you get the message out of you, what fits for you. If you missed part of it, please go to bonfiretalks.com. You will find the recordings there soon, and you will also find the recordings of the previous show. And if you have any suggestions for a topic we should discuss the next time, also we're more than open. Let us know what interested you as a man, or even as a woman. Maybe when you're watching as a woman, or you want to have this discussion as a man, you're more than welcome.
I've got a topic that we can lead off from here. How did our childhoods affect our relationships today?
Yeah, we can.
Hopefully, I'll be here next week, guys. So
yeah, gentlemen, thanks a lot. Bye bye. See you backstage.
Bye bye
for now.
Bye now.